Hey, welcome back to Leffen's Cocktails. Tonight I want to make one of my favorite low ABV cocktails and a great intro to the Negroni, the Sloegroni. It's called that because you take away the gin and you use sloe gin, which makes it a lot fruitier, a lot less harsh. It tampers down some of those bitter flavors from the Campari or your red bitter, and it makes it an overall a lot easier drink and a lot easier gateway into bitter cocktails, I personally think. It is really delicious. Tonight we're going to use Antigua formula for our sweet vermouth. Instead of Campari, we're going to use this Martini red bitter. And then for our sloe gin, we're going to use one of my favorites, Plymouth sloe gin. It is really fruity and it's got a little bit of sweetness, so you want to definitely make sure that your other components aren't going to overwhelm it. A lot of times in my Negroni-like drinks, I really do favor Select instead of Campari or this Martini bitter. But for this, with sloe gin, it can be a little bit too sweet and maybe a little bit too syrupy, so it doesn't really work out as well. But this Martini red bitter is a little bit on the more bitter side, but not quite as bitter as Campari. I find it really great to mix these together for a great Sloegroni. Now, this is a stirred cocktail, so we're gonna grab our mixing glass, and it's really easy because it's all equal parts. First ingredient, 1 ounce of our sweet vermouth, 1 ounce of our red bitter liqueur, 1 ounce of our sloe gin. Add in our ice. Give that a stir. All right, as always, we want to stir this for 20-25 seconds. We want to get this one good and cold because I'm going to serve it up. And so as soon as we strain it, it's going to only start getting warmer. So we want to make sure it's nice and cold now. All right, now we'll strain that into our chilled coupe. Give it a nice zest over the top. Wipe those edges, give the stem a little wipe, and we'll garnish it with a twist. All right, let's try our Sloegroni. It's refreshing, it's fruity, it's a little bit sweeter, so it takes the edge off that red bitter a little bit, but while still maintaining some of that bitter component, it's a lot more accessible to someone who's just getting into bitter and stirred cocktails, I think. But for anyone who enjoys a normal Negroni, this is really good change of pace because it maintains all those original characteristics, but it changes it to be a little bit more, maybe summery, spring kind of cocktail. I think it's really great. Because sloe gin is treated as a gin liqueur, it's a lower ABV, somewhere around like 20-25%, I think. And with the sloe gin replacing gin, you really lose a lot of that strong alcoholness to it. So it's a little bit softer on that end too, not as like ethanol forward and not as gin prominent, but you do get those gin notes. I personally think sloe gin is absolutely delicious, but I don't really see it being common around in bars and stuff. And I'm kind of wondering why, because it is so tasty and a great way into so many classic cocktails. So if you're a fan of sloe gin, let me know, because I don't see it a lot. So cheers. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Still tasty every time.